That's my own way.
I asked a number of people about that to find out, and I'm just telling you, my input on that was that Pesh isn't going to have a problem with us using some new packs and some old packs. There are reasons not to do that, but that's not going to be a problem for them. According to the people around the triple cities that I asked about that.
So actually, it's based on on a needing to budget the money,
Sure.
right?
So that's not our, there's other reasons not to do that, but that is not the reason for that.
How many packs would $37,000 buy?
If we were just buying straight out?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, so this lease is for the...
3 or 4.
Or at least that many.
Yeah.
Like for a 5 year. I mean, what is $37,000 get you? That's on an outright purchase, and then you can buy $37,000 worth outright.
Yeah, but
The pack was
Right,
six.
so then so you buy, let's say you only get 5 packs. I still gotta buy old bottles, right, to fill the old packs. Which those bottles are pretty much obsolete, so if I go mix matching bottles, then we go buy more packs next year, then those bottles they're garbage because they don't interchange.
The way that would work, yes, the way that would work is we would be using the 20-some old packs we have with but we have to have 2 bottles for everyone, and we might only have 24 bottles left after the 39 bottle date, so we'd have enough bottles for 12 of those old packs. We would buy 5 brand new packs of brand new bottles that wouldn't be interchangeable in those old ones. We would then have, at that particular, if we bought 5, we'd have that particular one with 17 packs, 12 old ones, 5 new ones that were fully outfitted. That would be how that would play. Right up there.
Yeah, your bottles aren't interchangeable.
No.
With new old, the buddy system isn't interchangeable, old new. So you run into some risk. Obviously our masks are pretty well shot. So you got 25 masks that need to be replaced. So again, you're buying new masks that put on old packs, and then they come out of date, and then
yeah.
a lot of different variables, that's all.
One of my questions is, and I've asked it a couple of times, but when the bottle's exposed, so even if we bought it tonight,
Yeah, we're still at 60 days away from getting them, aren't
well,
we?
it's 3 or 4 weeks
Yeah.
once you place the order, right? So at the end of, did we ever figure out if it was the beginning of February, the end of February?
End of February.
Okay. So the end of February, are we, how long, like, which kind of shape? We have so many expiring.
So we got 39, we got 3 bottles loaned to us from Apple, I think, because that's all they had to give us, but so we gotta come up with a game plan, whether, it's have an automatic mutual aid or whatnot, but that's most likely game plan. If we have a fire.
I'm worried about packs, but I'm more worried about our game plan, even if we bought them today.
We'll have one by the end of February.
So we're at the end of February, 39 are out, we'll have the 24, whatever we're gonna have left, 24, 25, 26, which would outfit 12, 13 air packs. That's all we would have. That would be what we'd have for everybody. Yes, and once again, these are just all this stuff has to be known. It doesn't mean anything's a good idea. That when you don't have enough green tags or enough people to fight a fire, you ask for mutual aid from other departments for green tags. That's what you do. That's not the best thing in the universe, but that is what you do.
I just don't want to put the residents at risk either.
No, there will be an extra.
So at what point do we envision making a decision on what to do?
So one of the things that we were thinking about is, we talked about this, what kind of budget do we have? What kind of money do we have? Where does it have to go? What are we going to have to do for the EMS? Where are we going to? That was one of the things why we were kind of putting this off till May or June budget time. That's what we were contemplating doing. Doesn't mean we're going to do it or have to do it. But that was the logic behind that. We're trying to see how the grant's moving along, how that's playing, if there's any information there, what we can afford, what we finally decide. Is it by 25, is it by 5, is it by 10? We still didn't make any of those calls. We can make them today, we can make them whenever we make them.
Well, I mean, my whole, making perfect the enemy of better is oftentimes wrong. And if we could do something that we could all get our minds around, it would be better rather than holding off until June, I think.
Yeah, well, it seems like the best thing to do would be go with the whole package.
If we think we can
They totally.
come up with the funds.
With the minutes,
I
yeah.
mean, less, nobody likes this option, but less risk would be to buy half the package
Right.
and see if,
That's what it,
oh yeah.
split the big one.
Another option is we just use our, we're starting to use our reserve, not our reserve, but our money going into the reserve to just buy new old bottles. And then we have a year to figure this out.
Yeah.
I was struggling with that option.
But we spend money that we're throwing away.
Yeah, then it's money that's out the door.
Yeah.
We're not
Right.
getting that
Because
back.
we're not gonna keep selling those bottles for what we paid for.
Right.
$100 when you're going for it.
Yeah. $12 a box.
Plus the mask.
Plus, well, we gotta buy the mask anyway.
That's a good,
Yeah, these some packs around, training packs.
yeah. I mean, it seems like that would be the thing to do, right? Would be to either just get us enough to limp through, buy 5 of them, or lease 5 of them, lease 5 of the whole packages or whatever, or do like, half, and we'll just figure out some way to find $17,000 every year in the budget.
Right. Well, I mean, we're putting 30-some thousand in reserve.
You could divert that 17,000 each year.
It's not the best option, but
No, but it's,
it's that or, not fighting a fire.
right. And I mean, that is one of the things that, you buy a home in the village, you think you're protected by fire and police.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, the money's in the budget.
Well, if we have this 37,000 coming in every year from the town, can we just say we're gonna dedicate that to,
We can, but that doesn't help the reserve account grow.
Right.
no,
That's your decision, I don't do that part.
Yeah.
We can't legally do that, but.
And you gotta make sure it's okay with everybody here, and make sure it's okay with the fire department, with your head guys.
I mean, it seems like that would be
Easiest way.
given the fact that we can't see the future, we gotta do something.
Yeah.
I don't think, it seems like we're not all there with the full boat. But we gotta do something. I mean, buy half of them, or at least half of them, and appropriate those funds that are to go into the reserve, and use the rest of those funds that we've traditionally appropriated to put into the reserve.
Well, it's easier to swallow, I mean, at least for me.
Right,
Can't speak for everybody else.
right.
But would that limit our deal that we have with them as far as free product?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question, right? Would they be willing to give us half of that?
Because they were giving us, there's,
A lot of free
in this
stuff.
quote, there's like almost $40,000.
Yeah, because they're selling us $200,000 worth of stuff.
Most likely, I would guess that you probably wouldn't get the bottles free.
Right. That would certainly be a negotiation with them.
Yeah, right.
Would they be willing to do a lesser amount, still give us
The same favorable
the amount, yeah, the amount of free bottles, that's a negotiation. Is the lease the same? I know it's not the same, but, so we're talking about lease, weren't we talking before about buying them, but with,
it's the same.
the loan,
Yeah.
with the loan, so what's the,
The
Well,
loan rate is gonna be probably higher than what
I'm sure they would.
you're getting for this.
I'm sure 3.08 for a lease factor is,
because I don't have that information.
Yeah, we-
0.308,
We called some things, so they're just that interested.
that's cheap interest.
That's good. Dollars
So
for
in other words, the lease factor is as good as you're gonna get from the bank or
I
bank.
think it is.
Without the red tape.
You talk about I understand the interest part, what's the difference between if we lease them or if we own them? How's that work?
Just how we pay for them.
You just don't have to come up with 200 grand up front.
Right.
So we're just paying them instead of paying us to them?
Essentially a loan, but
Yeah,
different terms.
just like going in and lease the car instead of buying it with cash.
Right. Except this is lease to purchase, we
Yeah,
don't turn
yeah.
it, like a car, you turn back in at the end of the lease.
Yeah, right.
If we do half, if there is a full-blown fire or emergency or disaster, whatever, with the amount of green tags that we have now, will they all be covered? Check.
Yeah.
I mean, between the old and the new, right? I mean,
You just have some guys running old equipment.
it's not ideal, but
Yeah. Until 5 years out when we can buy another half.
or until the grant comes in. we-
Yeah, right, exactly. And then this is all a moot discussion. Because you just pay it off and, or you just use that money, the grant money to
Right.
continue to pay the lease payments, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to put your hand over the microphone.
Whatever, you know, I mean, it's not like, you're not an issue. And so it's just purchase what you can.
Yeah. So I guess what we're gonna do? Anything?
I just hate to keep kicking the can down the road and then,
Yeah,
you know,
take care of it.
we get a month down the road and we had a huge fire and we can't fight it as effectively as we could if we moved forward and, you know, then it's on us because we did it for as long as we did. And the flip side of that is that this is all of our constituents' money and, you know, we need to be as prudent about spending it as we can.
Agreed.
Once again, you've outlined the contradiction, which is why we're gonna do it.
I just think we ought to move forward on something.
We have liability concern if something were to happen, but we also have the moral concern.
Yeah, that's right.
Could we have prevented it?
That's right.
I have a question. If you have two different sets of equipment and you need to use the buddy system, you're putting somebody's life in danger by not.
Yeah, potentially, because you don't have the interchangeability.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they'll hook up to each other, but the new ones hook up much, we had a little demonstration of them a couple times ago.
Well, you would ideally, if you're doing buddies, you have the same guys with the same, two guys with the same equipment,
I
right?
would hope so, yeah.
Yeah,
The new buddy hooks up to the old buddy. It's not as convenient.
yeah.
So it's not.
It's not as quick a change and,
It's quick and dirty, I mean.
right.
The new system, there's like 3 or 4 ways to hook up to your brand. The old system, there's one.
Yeah.
It's like 15 years of technology upgrade.
Yeah.
The grant that was submitted, is that the same amount of packs and stuff as the lease agreement? So if we signed a 5-year lease agreement and then the grant was awarded,
The money can pay off that lease.
it covers, that grant will cover everything that we've signed?
Does the lease have an early payoff amount?
It may or may not.
I don't have paper anymore.
I mean, obviously, we use a grant money to pay the lease, but
Yeah.
sometimes those grants take time.
Yeah, right, and you couldn't just have it sit there in your bank account while you pay the lease payments. So, yeah.
That was one of the questions we kind of had before about how this grant works. So suppose we would two lease 10 or 12, 100 grand-ish, or whatever the number is, and we get the grant, will the grant cover that lease? And say we get the grant for the 25 that we want, is that what we asked for?
Yes.
So we get the 200 grand for the 25 we want, and at least, and done half of it, will the grant cover the amount we paid and buying the next 12 also? Do we know that that's the case?
You probably have to go back and rewrite the grant, right? Because it wouldn't,
Well, we've asked the grant for the full 25.
yeah.
The grant is for full.
But what happens if tonight we pass a resolution to buy 10?
Would that grandfather into that grant?
Yeah, or since we haven't submitted the grant yet, would you want to go back and say, no, submit the grant for this number? After you went back and got the new contract for 10 of them and found out what that was going to
I
cost?
don't know. Question, is the grant company gonna charge you to rewrite the grant?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
So we have a grant for $200,000 to buy 25. If we buy none, and we get the grant, we're gonna get the money to buy 25.
Well, it's usually a reimbursement.
Yeah, right.
Per bid, you spent the money and then they give you the money back.
Okay.
You would want to check with the grant writing folks about the terms of the grant. You know, if you buy something today, but you don't get the grant awarded until 3 months from now, can you reimburse yourself for something that you purchased before the grant?
We talked about that before. We talked about that in
So we
detail.
were told
they're
if
saying
we,
yes.
we purchased after the grant was filed, then yes.
That was the meeting we had on the Scout Packs
That's
a
what-
couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
That's what we were told.
That was our understanding, that we would get that.
So the grants have been filed?
They will be this week.
It's ready to
It hasn't been
go.
filed, it's gonna be filed
No,
in
so,
the next few days.
but my concern would be that you wrote the grant for 200,000 and we only buy $100,000 worth of equipment. Or do they then just knock the 200, the other 100,000 off, or?
Why would we buy the rest of it?
Well, that's right, then maybe you would go buy the rest of it,
I
exactly.
guess that's the question, can we do that, right? Is that,
That's another question about that. Can we buy half now, and if we get the grant,
Can
can we
we
take care of this
use the grant?
half, and then the other half that we
Yeah.
buy?
can we use the grant to pay the half of it back that we already bought and
Go buy the other half.
the other half?
Hard to imagine that the grant and all its rules would care whether we bought it in two pieces or not.
Right.
I don't know this stuff.
Well, what is the price the same? Is half the price 100 and...
Yeah, it might be $25,000 more to break it into two.
That's another thing we need to know, if we're going to go that way.
The prices increased now, how long? has it
Is this
been
good for,
taking?
right, exactly, yeah.
And you might not hear grant award might not be until December.
September or something, right? Yeah.
A while from now.
It ran until December last year, so.
Right.
They don't even open those till what, August, September?
Yeah.
How many years is the 25 Scott packs good for in the bottles? How many years?
Bottles are 15 years, the packs itself for a lifetime,
Okay.
because they got a lifetime warranty on them.
So we're going to
So you'd have to
Somewhere
start,
Yeah.
start budgeting to replace bottles.
Right. Well, then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and again, that's a separate issue. The fact that we didn't sort of figure this out and have some game
Right.
plan to do it is
There should be,
water under the bridge, but now we know what we need to be planning for, right?
should have been money sitting there, but there's not.
Right.
You gotta deal with it now.
Right. I just don't see how we can keep going much farther,
Yeah.
but I guess I've said enough.
My feeling is we check into the half deal and see if that's with the company and see if that's a,
Yeah.
are they gonna throw out of that $40,000 worth for stuff again?
No, last question.
That seems like a lower risk.
Would you know by next meeting?
Can let us
Go tomorrow, I'm sure.
And once again, I understand we're talking about kicking the can down the road. Does it, I don't know, does it need another week or two of kicking? I don't know. To find out a little
Well, we
bit
can
more
check
about
into
that.
the half option and see if that's an option.
Yeah.
And if that would cost us more money than just dividing that number in half.
Well, right, so could you use the grant to buy
Right.
half of them now, and then if we get the grant, go get the rest of them?
As soon as we
That would be
can.
something to ask the grant
Right,
writer.
that's
Verify that.
question one. The other question is, what's the price?
Right.
The third question is, can you pay that lease off early?
Right.
If we went and bought them now and got the grant in September or August?
Yeah, because typically there's time frames for.
Yeah,
how long we have to use
prepayment
the money.
penalty, that type of thing. Right,
Be a 6-month commitment, minimum, or?
right.
Well, when you get a grant, there's usually so many years and then, I assume you're not doing anything with the money.
Well, I mean, for the early payoff,
Yeah.
it might be a minimum 6-month.
Right, yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Depends on the term.
It would probably be best to look at their lease contract and
Right.
have Nate take a look at it. I mean, then we know. Are there other questions we can think of that we want to have answered before we can make that kind of a decision?
I think that would be all for me anyway.
I can't think of any, but then,
Anybody else on the other? Just so we get all our questions down, so we get all the answers for.
Yes, we need to make a decision by next time.
yeah, I agree.
How many green tags do we currently have in the fire department?
16.
So we need a minimum of 16 working.
And we'll have, after February, we will have how many packs that are working?
bottles, right?
Well, right now it's
I mean,
bottles.
it's limited by
We're down
bottles,
2
but-
packs, we'll be down 39 bottles.
Lead packs, but how many bottles would those packs
I'd say
be?
24, 26, somewhere in there, so we wouldn't be able to fulfill the 16.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Plus, I know we talked, sometimes you offer them to other people that aren't green tags at the scene, right?
Correct.
If they're experiencing smoke or whatever.
Correct. Just because you're not a green tag doesn't mean you don't wear step.
Right.
There's one thing you can do. Have Jim get the questions between, he's got a couple of questions you got for him, and then between the lawyer, and, you know, see what they're coming up with. And then you gotta decide how you wanna get them paid for, that's all.
I'll have an email back to you tomorrow.
You
so.
can have a meeting, you can have a special meeting, or you can wait till the meeting on Tuesday of the 17th.
See, this is the next meeting.
We understand that.
I think you all understand that.
It's not gonna shoot us an email, but
Jim, how quick do you think you could get the answers to those questions? Grant?
I would assume tomorrow they're pretty quick.
Yeah. Get the copy of the contract and Nate, the lease contract?
So I'm gonna get your lease contract, I'm gonna ask the grant company if we can buy in 2 stages, get half the quote, and then see if there's an early payoff fee.
Yeah. So should we try to have a meeting next Monday?
Sunday is the 10th. Oh, I'm out of town. And at night come.
I'm having a root canal. So this will be my second most interesting.
Russ, you may guess that too.
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Once
I don't know.
again, if it's an emergency, if it's an emergency, we can call another meeting, otherwise we can do it at our next meeting.
Or the next meeting is the 18th. After that, I don't know if we want. A week that long or not. I don't know if a week is gonna
See,
I don't know if a week is gonna make a huge difference. As long as we're progressing towards something.
I think if we could have a meeting next week and meet for half an hour, I'd be willing to do that. Otherwise, I'm waiting until the 18th.
Okay. Is anybody available any night other than Monday or? Yeah, Monday.
Mayor,
The 11th?
and Jimmy can speak to it. Are we in an emergency situation where if we wait 4 extra days to have a meeting? No, we're not. Once again, that's a difference between kicking it to June as opposed to,
Right.
we gotta do this in 23 minutes. I'm just,
What do you think? I mean, my view is if we're moving forward, that's good.
We gotta move forward, and there's no way around it.
I don't know if we need to, worry about a couple days, but we need to move forward in a quicker fashion.
You're the board, you tell me what you wanna do, and I'll explain it to our members.
Is anybody else available the 11th to the 12th?
I could be available either day. Well, let's not do the 12th. I will be divorced. It's my wife's birthday.
Oh, no, that's important.
11th and then afternoon, evening is wide open for me.
Me too.
11th,
The
yeah, what
evening
time?
will be wide open. I gotta Greek people today.
I can't do evening.
6:30?
Sure, for the evening.
You're without me, I
We
got
have to
final
meet.
meetings.
Does anybody-
I have
You got a meeting?
priorities. Yeah, I got a Bible meeting.
What time is, what time?
That's it at 6.
So what if we did like 5?
5 o'clock?
Is anybody else available?
I can do 5 o'clock.
what day is this again?
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 11th.
Tuesday, the 11th, 5 o'clock?
Do we gonna have actually anything to meet about,
Oh,
or,
no,
So I don't have all these answers.
I mean, these answers can be given through email unless we're gonna make a decision on something that seems kind of fruitless.
We can do that too. Come the 18th with whatever you draw up the resolutions for whatever seems to be the consensus of the emails for the 18th. Then we can take action the 18th.
Is it complicated to draw two resolutions, one for the full shot and one for a partial shot, or how are we doing?
Should just be swapping out the numbers.
Sure, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. So we can get the questions answered and the resolutions done by the 18th. And just, we're ready to do something that night.
All right, so we'll put it on the agenda for the 18th.
Okay, so let's make sure we have,
The answers.
well, we're gonna have the answers, but make sure we have all the questions for Jimmy so that we're ready on that day. Make sure we got all the questions that we want answered, so.
Yeah,
If you think of something after tonight, just email.
Yeah.
And,
And try to get it to them sooner than later. So don't bring them that day, just bring them so they'll have it all discussed.
Get a good definitive answer from this, the company that you're working with, because before we keep getting, oh yeah, that's the way it should work, that's why, get a good, solid definitive answer on this stuff.
any more on that, dead horse? What's that? Oh, you wanna do your fire report thing, and then your...
No, sure. Short but sweet. Right now, currently we have 5 members of OFD taking Fire Officer 1. It's a Fire Officer course. It's pretty in detail. It's being held here in Owego. They actually got 25 students in class, so it's a pretty big class. That the state is holding, working on the Knox box system that we talked about last meeting. In contact with the company, so just waiting for some information back from them. And then all our apparatuses will be going out starting tomorrow for New York State inspections and PM services. So that's that. We had 13 total calls for the month of January, 3 fire alarms, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 2 carbon monoxide calls, 1 public service call, which was a tree down, 3 mutual aid calls, and 1 assist to EMS. That's all right. Tough enough on setbacks.
I think we're in progress, which is good.
Well, rather than leave, I can
So,
see what I can do on it.
yeah, our next thing is discussion of EMS benefits. So, did Cindy talk to you about this? Talking
About the clothing law?
Yeah, so these are for our 2 paid EMTs. Apparently, so everybody in the village, it's employed for the village, is not in the union, follows the union contract as far as vacation and raises and this clothing allowance, and, except for the 2 paid EMTs for some reason.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah. So one of them asked about clothing. So that's how this came about.
They should be included in that same deal.
Right. So the deal is they get anybody for the village that has like a physically demanding job, DPW, sewage, police, that kind of thing, they get $375 a year to go buy whatever they need to buy. Whether it's work boots, pants, shirts, whatever.
Did they get that money, or did they just get reimbursed that money?
They apparently get the money.
get the money.
From what Cindy told me.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to buy anything?
No, it's on you, whatever you need. You're expected to, if you need steel toe shoes and you're using it $375 a time you're down, tough luck.
Everybody keep it.
Well, no, there's the thing. How you doing?
Mark was embarrassed.
But none of the other departments have to show the receipts for
No.
reimbursement.
I think once a year, they just cut them a check and say, it's up to you to buy your shirts. What
Right.
do you do with them?
Shoes.
Shirts, steel-toe shoes.
But you have to be in compliance.
Right, yeah.
What do you
Expect
expect?
it, yeah.
Things like that.
Blue jackets, right.
What are these composite shoes? It's composed, there's a,
Oh, so she asked me about that, so we require steel toe shoes. The composite shoes are the same safety rating, just a plastic toe instead of a steel toe.
not quite as heavy. But
Yeah, they're lighter and they're a lot warmer.
We're focusing on clothes. The point here is that most village employees are either in the union or get to follow the union contract for benefits. This is an ask for that these two paid EMTs get to follow the union contract like everybody else.
Like everybody else.
And that means not just that clothing allowance, just anything, raises, other things.
Right.
That's what's the ask.
That seems like
I'm not sure why
That's fair.
not sure why they weren't included, until now, but
just oversight maybe.
This memo says that the EMTs never received an annual raise, but in October,
We just did
give
that.
a raise.
But prior to that, they hadn't got one in like 10 years.
Right.
What it means is that they didn't receive an annual raise as per the contract. They got raises
Because we gave
when the village board decided to give it. They didn't get an automatic annual one. They will get automatic annual ones like everybody else.
But in the future, they will.
If we change this. Will this make us,
Which area are they gonna follow?
I think everybody follows the CE, SA, except the police. Because even WOO follows the CESA, not the PBA.
will this obligate us to them in any manner if, say down the road, we decide that we're going to eliminate paid EMTs? Because they're not going to be in the union, we're just giving them certain benefits. Will this obligate us? Will we have any
Doesn't add
legal
to the
obligation?
It's just another benefit, like any other benefit that you're providing to them.
And just ask them, just because I want to know these things, can we take these benefits away if we decide to? Once we give them the permanent thing?
They have a tendency to be really sticky. So I think if you agree to this, which we expect that they will continue to be provided this benefit.
Just like to know what obligations we have when we do these things.
Who's under previous practice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't think they should be treated any way less than other employees.
I think that's what I'm looking
Those are my point.
Yeah, they should have the same benefit.
I agree.
So can I make the motion that this is,
Yeah, so the motion, I think Cindy said, what she wanted the motion to say was that we would, that our two EMTs would follow the union contract, the union contract.
Is that how it's worded in the past?
Yes. Maybe that's not the right way to word it. Maybe they can help us with the correct way to word it. Doesn't mean because they did it in the past, it was the right way to word it. We figured that out.
So maybe Nate comes back with the wording for a motion, or do we want to approve it subject to your?
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, you can always pass something now and then amend your motion later on if I, after thinking about it further than, 5 minutes, if any changes to that.
So Charles's motion would be to have the two paid EMTs follow the CSEA contract in these two respects.
Well, in any respect, really.
Well, not in any respect. Specifically, whatever these things are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's on that piece of paper, but
Just the clothing and then annual.
Well, the same manner as the DPW department and the sewer department,
same thing?
should be the same benefit.
yeah, I think it'd be.
Which she did some research, I think these are the only areas that are different.
So the clothing allowance from the CSEA contract and the
Annual
raises.
raises. So Charles, that's going to be something, that will be some, the motion will be that, something along the lines of that the two paid EMTs will get annual raises as per the SEA contract and clothing benefit as per the SEA contract. Right? Would that be the approximately?
I think so.
So I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Charles made it.
Would that be as of today, right?
As of today,
So we move back.
no, yeah.
So we would probably get the clothing, but not the raise?
The raise will come whenever
Whatever we
contract comes.
raise cycle,
I just want to make sure.
because we just gave them their team.
Raise at the next time. Okay. Charles, now you have Fran, okay.
Any more discussion on that? Okay, Fran?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Our next item is resolution in support of NICOM criminal justice reform. This is one of the 10. NICOM, New York Conference of Mayors sent us some of the things they try and fight for us against a lot of stuff, or with us. This is a resolution in support of some of the changes that they suggest to the criminal justice reform that was passed by the governor. Mainly it's regarding the,
Bail?
not necessarily the bail, but the discovery, which costs us a lot of time and money to generate all of this paperwork. There was changes in the law, and we didn't get any extra money to do it, or pay a guy, or anything, you know what I mean? So they're asking us to pass this resolution, which just supports their mission. And then they use this as ammo when they go fight the government.
You good, Jesse?
A lot of this doesn't seem to apply to us as a village. Like, our court doesn't meet once a month, you know? It meets way more often, and like, that's one of the things that they're fighting for. And what if this applies to the village of Owego as opposed to, you know, fighting the state level?
I mean, I think almost all of it.
We have a jail in